My in-laws complained about my invitation being not warm. So I used ChatGPT.
What?
Yeah, you tell them. Use that ChatGPT.
Okay.
I sent my in-laws an invitation for dinner. We stupidly thought it would be nice if it came from me. Religious greetings. Husband, was thinking of inviting you next weekend, God willing. Would that work for you, or do you have other plans? 10 minutes later, father-in-law called my husband to tell him they wished the message had been longer and warmer. Husband agreed to let me know for the next time. By the way, this comes from you Zookeeper Game Own 1726 on the ROK Storytime subreddit. So the next day, father-in-law called again over something else. Husband used the opportunity to point out they still hadn't replied to my message. Father-in-law told him they would not be replying to me until I fixed it and made it warmer.
This is ridiculous. They were literally inviting you over to dinner.
They also pointed out that at my job, I have to adopt a certain tone to be perceived as professional. This is the same in a family context. Since they wanted me to adopt the same strategies I use at work, I figured I'd use ChatGPT to get frustrating tasks out of the way as quickly as possible. I showed the AI my original message, told it my in-laws' complaints, and told it to rewrite it super warmly as if I were the perfect insert ethnicity daughter-in-law. It came up with an absolutely ridiculous message with emojis everywhere. I copied, pasted, and sent right after my last left on red invitation. That's like kind of petty. Like, boom, take that.
Take that.
Take that like, warm and fuzzy for you.
Love for you guys to come to dinner. Winky face. It's always a pleasure to see you. Yeah. Laugh emoji, LOL.
Heart.
Bring the wine. And then like this emoji and like the yeah.
Husband sent it with me and is okay with it. I first suggested to him I could write a genuine message about my grievances here, but he pointed out I did so over another petty complaint months ago and it led nowhere. We decided to go with the ChatGPT message minus some of the emojis. Father-in-law works with AI. I have no doubt he can tell this is ChatGPT. Even mother-in-law will know there's no way either husband or I wrote this. I do kind of feel a bit guilty about the passive aggressiveness of our response. There's a very obvious cultural context here. I understand my culture seems cold to them, the way theirs seems over the top to me. But as God is my witness, I have unsuccessfully tried everything else to communicate with them. They have ignored the new message. No phone call to husband. I don't want this to go nuclear. I just want them to say, sure, see you next week, and pretend to tolerate my cooking. Am I the a-hole?
I don't know. It's like a little petty.
I also don't know the context, right?
Yeah,
like clearly
exactly.
There's some
cultural
already
context
back
too.
and forth that's been happening.
Mm-hmm.
There's some tension.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I needed a little bit more information about this.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it seems like maybe you were being a little petty, but also they're being a little bit petty.
They're being a little unnecessary as well.
Yeah. So it's like maybe it's just
maybe you're both a-holes a little bit,
just
but
a
like
little
valid.
Bit. Yeah.
Update. 16 days later. I was here a couple weeks ago because my in-laws did not find my dinner invitation warm enough. TLDR, they refused to reply to me until I wrote a warmer invitation. I thought that was stupid, so sent back an AI-generated version filled with emojis and obvious AI lines. Mother-in-law did reply to my second message. Religious greetings. Thank you for the invitation. We will get together soon, God willing. I did not follow up and let the invitation expire. Ooh, they did not come.
Well, yeah, because it sounds like they were like, yeah, we'll get together, God willing, but didn't actually say, yeah, we're coming to this event.
But then like
dinner.
She didn't follow up either.
Yeah, but I think probably because she was like, well, they didn't.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like it's like if you like texted someone, you're like, hey, let's hang out. And they say,
like,
yeah, let's
hopefully
do it. Yeah, or like,
one
yeah,
day.
sure. In the future.
Yeah, right.
And it's like they don't set a date. And you're like, okay, well, you don't want to hang out.
Yeah.
Cool.
A bit after that, we had a large family gathering at their place. My husband, grandparents, his parents, their kids, and grandkids. I kept the interaction with father-in-law and mother-in-law to a minimum. I was polite, I greeted them, but nothing more. I felt I had made enough efforts trying to connect with people that did not respect me enough to reply to a text message. In the past, they've always used my lack of relationships with the rest of my family against me. I was not close enough to sister-in-law, or I did not spend enough time with grandma-in-law. And it was was proof I was not making any effort to integrate into the family. I have tried to explain their family is very large and it takes a while to build a relationship with tens of people who are already close-knit, but you might as well try and convince a mountain to move to a different spot. Well, not this time. The younger kids have always been easy. They're not as set in their ways and they accepted me very quickly. I spent hours with kids playing all over me. The babies used to cry when they saw me. They hate strangers. Not only have they stopped crying, they smile and play with me now.
Kids are so easy.
They're so cute.
Yeah, like literally when I went for Thanksgiving to my cousin's house, first 5 minutes their kids were like, I don't know
who are you?
Like, yeah, I haven't seen you in so long.
They're like,
yeah, like 5 minutes later, I'm like,
let's play.
They're like, spin me.
Yeah,
and I literally just spin them around.
My oldest sister-in-law also married outside of their culture, so she's always been the most empathetic since she knows what her husband went through with them. My other sister-in-law is a lot more like mother-in-law, hard one to win over. But even she softened, and we're now in a place where we get along. The final blow, though, were my husband's grandparents, father-in-law's parents. They are very conservative and would have clearly preferred if he had married within the community. The grandmother barely speaks a word of English. I'm not what they wanted. But even they have moved on. They hugged me, and they were clearly happy to see me. Between the fact I now feel comfortable with everyone else and the fact I stopped even trying with them, I guess it dawned on them that my problem was not their family. It was them. It might seem like a small thing to the readers here, but such a level of actual awareness coming from them is nothing less than a miracle of God in my eyes. So it seems like they realize, wait, okay, like, everyone else likes them, so am I the problem?
Am I the drama?
Am I?
Yes.
Yeah. After the gathering, they called husband again and asked him if I hated them and still held a grudge for the fact they opposed us getting married for a very long time. Husband, in his infinite patience, argued for hours with them and tried to explain that when you treat people unkindly, they do not tend to love you back. He pushed back on the idea I was punishing them and reminded them I have tried very hard for months to get along with them and all I got for it was criticism and ghosting. Whatever else was said during that fight, it seems to have had some sort of effect. But we don't like to fight, so you should join us live on YouTube where we play Very Nice, and Facebook every weekday at 3 p.m. PST, and we're probably live right now, so tap our profile.
Tap it.
And there's another relevant update, but let's discuss. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, it seems like they are, a little bit self-aware right now, which is great news. I do think it's funny, though, that they went to the husband and they were like, hey, does your wife like still not like us because we were super against your marriage and we're really critical of her?
Like, is she still holding a grudge about us really hating her and not wanting her to be a part of our family?
Is that still a problem?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And they're like, what? No way.
They have stopped calling husband once a week to give a detailed report of everything I have done wrong during the last 7 days. Jeez. Wow. Okay.
That's insane that they were doing that, but improvement.
Sucks. While they still cannot accept to see me wearing pants around them, they seem to have given up on trying to convince us I should never wear pants outside my own house. Again, the 21st century reader may be confused by this. I'm grading on a curve here. And for her credit, I think mother-in-law has taken the mental load to try and fix the relationship.
OP's like, I am being
She's being
nice
very
to
gracious.
I'm being gracious because this is a big deal for them to come this far.
She's been the one texting me and giving news and inviting us to a restaurant. All the emotional labor that used to be mine. Okay, good on them. Let's go. Progress.
And then the story's gonna end with the mother-in-law sending a text like, join us for dinner. And
then she's gonna be like, that wasn't warm enough. Father-in-law is still a piece of work, but since his parents now like me, not much he can say or do. Ironically, his culture is now working for me.
There we go.
That's a beautiful ending. We love a happy ending.
No, it literally went from like, my in-laws hate me and I'm never gonna, get along with them, to figured it out.
Now they can all sing Kumbaya and hold hands and be happy and merry.
And that's all you want.
Yeah.
But that is the end of that story. So we'll get into the next one.